Not only do you have to deal with a harsh winter climate in this game, but you also had a nuke dropped on you. And now it's time to survive. John the Scavenger here, and today I'll look at the demo of the game Polyaris. If you like a game like The Long Dark, then Polyaris is definitely one to keep an eye on. This game is a first-person, single-player survival game from indie developer Magic Pie, set in the frozen Arctic, somewhere near the border between Norway and Russia. And right from the start, the game gives you a pretty serious problem. A nuclear explosion has occurred. You've lost contact with the outside world, and there appears to be absolutely nobody else around. You find yourself in a crashed plane upon starting the demo and quickly need to find your way around. It's just you, the frozen wilderness, your skis, a boat, and a mystery that needs to be solved. What immediately caught my attention with Polyaris is the atmosphere. This isn't your typical survival game where you're running around collecting hundreds of resources and building a giant base within the first hour. The focus here seems to be much more on isolation, exploration, and simply trying to stay alive. There's crafting in the game, but I was able to move from in-game houses and other shelter to stay warm and safe from the elements. I definitely learned not to be outside when that snowstorm hits. The Arctic environment is constantly working against you. You've got to manage your temperature, clothing, hunger, and thirst, while also dealing with the changing weather and the day-night cycle. And that cold is something you really have to respect. You can't just head out in the wilderness without thinking about what you're wearing, what supplies you got with you, and how you're going to get back. One bad decision could leave you exposed to the elements, and that's where Polyaris looks like it could deliver some really tense survival moments. Luckily, you do have a navigation device on you to guide you to shelter and the next objective. One of the things I particularly like about the concept is the way you actually travel through this world. You have skis for getting around on land, but you also have a boat that allows you to explore the Arctic waterways. The boat itself, though, was a very tiny portion of the demo, but will become bigger in the full game. The skis themselves were a lot of fun to use and definitely made a difference. Polyaris features threats including polar bears, wolves, and hostile scavengers. So exploration isn't simply about enjoying the scenery. There are very real dangers out there. And then there's the mystery. The story begins with this unexplained nuclear event, the loss of communication, and the strange absence of other people. As you explore, you're going to discover clues about what happened and why you're apparently alone in this part of the world. There's a nice combination here of that survival gameplay and the mystery that many players are looking for. You're not just surviving because the game tells you to survive. You're trying to survive because you actually want to find out what happened and ultimately find a way out of the Arctic. It's not necessarily about constantly fighting enemies or building an enormous fortress. It's about being somewhere incredibly isolated and hostile, making smart decisions, managing your supplies, and trying to understand what happened to the world around you. The comparison to The Long Dark is an obvious one, and Steam itself actually describes Polyaris as being aimed at fans of the Long Dark series and similar survival games. But Polyaris has its own identity through the combination of the Arctic exploration, skiing and boating, along with that nuclear disaster mystery. And the good news is that you don't have too long to wait. The full game is currently planned for 2026 on PC via Steam, although there is not an exact release date announced just yet. So if you're looking for something that combines the Long Dark style survival, Arctic exploration, mystery, and a lonely post-apocalyptic atmosphere, Polyaris is definitely one I'd put on my watch list. For me, the big question is going to be how deep the survival mechanics and story become in the full release. At the moment, the game feels like it's an approachable survival game for many gamers. And with that, I mean it's a bit more forgiving, judging how the demo plays. The concept is certainly there. You're stranded in one of the harshest environments on Earth. You've got limited resources, dangerous wildlife, hostile scavengers, and an unexplained disaster to investigate. And sometimes that's all you need for a good survival game. Polyaris is currently planned for PC release in 2026. And if you're into atmospheric survival games, this one I definitely keep an eye on. Thank you so much for checking out the video. If you liked the content, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I will see you all next time.